Hi friends, it's Tanya here with My County Link, and today's an exciting day because, as you know, the Impactful Rippler is true and dear to my heart, and today we're going to go surprise someone. So we are going to go up to the Boys and Girls Club, and we are going to be surprising Mr. Jenkins. He has been with the Boys and Girls Club celebrating now 25 years, so you can imagine the impact that he has made at the Boys and Girls Club in those young lives. So we're going to go up and we're going to surprise him. If you're new to the Impactful Rippler, I would encourage you to go on our site, go over to the columns, and you can see to the right Impactful Rippler under More. Go ahead and click on that, and then you can see the past ones as well. An Impactful Rippler isn't just a do-gooder. It's somebody who, what they do in their passion actually sparks a ripple in somebody, and it continues and it goes and goes and goes. So it's called an Impactful Rippler, and we have sponsors for that. So we want to shout out thank yous to Village Green, Cheryl's She Shed, Biller's Stamps and Engraving, Heather Surdick with Inside Out Coaching, Keller Grain and Feed, Spirit Emergency Medical Center. So thank you so much for that. They sponsor on this page, so their advertising goes on there, as well as they help with the gifts that go to our Impactful Ripplers each month. And then at the end, we will be having a really fun celebration. So that's what those are for. If you would like to be a sponsor of that, whether it's a personal or a business, please reach out to me and I can help you with that. So we're going to go up and we're going to surprise him. So we decided to do it inside first, and then we'll go up there versus outside because it's cold out today. So stay warm and we'll see you in a minute. Okay. Here we go. Surprise! Mr. Tom Jenkins! You are our next Impactful Rippler with My County Link.
Is that right?
You are. So we're going to let him understand what all this is, and then we're going to talk to him. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're back with Tom. We've kind of explained to him. We kind of came in and surprised you a little bit. I did work with your wife. She was very helpful in helping me to come in and surprise you. So you were chosen as an Impactful Rippler because of what you do here at the Boys and Girls Club. So I mentioned earlier before we came here what an Impactful Rippler is, and it's someone who, what they do in this time of their life, what they do ripples into other people or to other things or whatever that would be, and it just keeps on going. So that is why you were chosen, because you are investing in young girls and boys' lives. So we're up here at the Boys and Girls Club, which is right here on Broadway.
Yes.
And tell us the hours for those who might be listening that would like to come.
Okay. Right now our Boys and Girls Club is open Monday through Thursday, 4 to 6, or 4 to 8, excuse me, and Saturday 1 to 4.
Okay, so 4 to 8.
Monday through Thursday. And 1 to 4 Saturday.
Okay, so let's talk about this, Tom. What got you involved in the Boys and Girls Club?
Well, years ago, I was walking down Broadway with my son, Tommy, who was 4 years old at the time. And he looked inside the windows and saw all the kids playing. And he asked me, "Dad, can we go in there?" I said, "Well, I think you're too young." But as I walked through the door, Jeff Miller was working at that time.
Okay.
And Jeff was the club director. And he says, "Can I help you?" I said, "Well, my son just wants to look around." So he says, "Oh, let him go play." So he started to play with all the kids up here. And meanwhile, Jeff asked me if I was looking for a part-time job. And I was currently working at Midmark at that time. And no, I was not looking for a part-time job. But as I looked around, Jeff got to talking to me, and next thing you knew, I was here working.
And so 25 years now.
And 25 years later,
right?
I'm still here.
So that's how you got started. What kept you here?
Knowing that you're helping kids out that need help. We get a lot of kids that come up here that come from broken homes or poverty homes, and it's a good feeling to see that we can help the kids achieve some of their goals, build their self-esteem, and encourage them to do better in school, activity-wise, and athletics. We have the gym open for that. And we do a lot of things up here that play games with kids, improve what their basic skills are. We also encourage kids to help cook. We have a kitchen up here that we cook 5 days a week.
So do you create a menu? Do the kids create the menu?
Well, we basically go off what our budget allows
Sure.
us to do.
Sure.
But we do encourage the kids, if they have something that they like, that we can purchase at a reasonable price, And then we do cook meals like that, yes.
So it's also a life lesson too. They're
is.
learning how to cook, because some of these kids, they're gonna grow up, right, and they're gonna be on their own at some point, and they can look back and think, I remember when Mr. Tom taught me how to make whatever XYZ, correct?
That is correct.
So we're teaching life skills.
And we do have a lot of older kids that take care of siblings at home.
Okay.
And so with us teaching them how to cook up here, it is something that they have used
Absolutely.
at home.
And it's safe for them too. Now they kind of
Yes.
get a feel for how things go together and what not to do sometimes
Right.
in the kitchen as well. So we're in the art area. So back here they have probably some art time. Now, is this something you do as a scheduled thing, or can they
Yes,
come back and do this when they want?
No, the arts and crafts is on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
And the kids come back and do projects back here.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the projects you're seeing were displayed at the fair this year in
Okay.
the youth building.
Nice.
We have a booth at the youth building every
Okay.
year.
Okay, that's something to go look at. So at the youth building, they can check that out. And then the weight area back here, let's walk back there and look
Yes.
at that. So you were saying that you kind of can help them if they're into sports and different things like that.
That's why we set up this weight room about 10 years ago, I guess it has been. But kids come back
they've got
here.
everything here.
We've got everything you can
Yeah.
see back here. This is our latest purchase. We purchased not last Christmas, but Christmas before.
Okay.
And we bought this because of safety. It has a lot of safety bars and equipment on here for kids that allows kids to lift these weights without getting hurt.
Sure, sure. Plus another life lesson too, though,
Another
because
life.
healthy exercising, it continues on. Because if kids, I have found anyway, and you can tell me what you think, but if kids aren't fostered in good eating habits, exercising, taking care of themselves, they don't know.
And,
What we think is times you just know. Some people just don't know, because if you're not around it, you don't realize those things.
Absolutely. And then, I was physically into physical fitness for almost all my life. When I went to the service, I started lifting in the gyms, and then I became a power lifter, lifted on several power teams.
All right, you got to tell us, what was your biggest that you could lift? I mean, everybody's gonna want to know.
My max is 435 on the bench.
My
at,
goodness.
At 181 pounds.
Oh my goodness. Tell us one more time.
435 at 181 pounds.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to tell my son that him and his friends lift and stuff, and they're always doing their max limits or whatever, and what they did, their PRs and stuff. So I'll
Actually,
have to
that's
make
my
sure.
chart on the wall right there.
Okay.
When I had my friends at the YMCA, all the names on that list are guys I lifted with at the Y,
And you have that same sheet.
and we had that same sheet.
Now, how old is that sheet?
Well, that's a copy.
Okay, I was gonna say, because we always say they don't make them like they used to, but
Actually,
they must have not have made
that's-
paper like they used to.
That's the original on the wall over there.
Oh, laminated.
Yes.
So it's safe. And so, in the weightlifting, and you might have said, and I might have missed it, did you say, are these certain, like, do kids have to sign up for this specifically?
No, but they don't have to sign up, but they can't come back here without staff. being
Absolutely,
back
that
here.
makes perfect sense.
And then we teach kids how to use these
As
machines.
an adult, I shouldn't be allowed to be in something like this without supervision.
Yeah.
So that way they're learning
Actually,
to do it
both
correctly.
these rooms here are controlled with staff members.
Sure.
Nobody can be back here without staff members.
Okay, sure, perfect. Okay,
But
so,
the goal to the weight room is to encourage kids to build their self-esteem, and to get kids that are young lifting weights and stuff, and hopefully experience enough qualifications to go out for high school sports.
yes, and also too, powerlifting is becoming quite the thing in the schools.
Yeah, I don't know if Greenville has it, but I know area schools do.
Yeah, I think it's kind of growing, I guess you would say. It's starting to grow a little bit more. So yeah, so we're going to teach them healthy ways, but they're going to be in a safe environment to do so. So what, I know you talked about, like, keeps you here, being in their lives and mentoring them and so forth like that. But what would you say is the difference between when you started here and today, as far as what's the most challenging?
Well, for one, we have a whole lot more kids.
Okay, okay.
But
So it's a double-edged sword. That's great. At the same time, you need more
That means
volunteers.
we're
So people,
growing.
get in here and
We're
volunteer.
growing. I know when I was started back with Jeff, we had quite a few kids, but the kids were a whole lot different back then than they are today,
Okay.
especially with attitudes. Today we have more attitudes in here than what we did back then. So you have to be patient with the kids of today than what you did years ago. A lot of things have changed,
Yeah. Which is another life skill they're learning, though, because
They do.
even if I always look at it this way, I think it's interesting. Sometimes the kids that maybe you don't think are listening to you, are the ones that later in life have always listened to you. And so your voice is always going to be in their hearts, in their minds, and that's gonna continue. So that's a great rippler that you are passing on.
I'm telling you, we get kids that come up here now that their parents came up here years ago.
Okay.
And a lot of them their parents will say, well, Tom, he had to throw me out a couple times. You know,
Well, you gotta mind the rules, right? You gotta mind the
daughters,
rules.
I said, well, your dad was a good kid, but he was a little ornery sometimes, or his mom, you know, but vice versa. But and then one boy says, well, Dad said you had dark hair back then, and I say, your dad give me this.
It's all his fault.
It's his fault.
It's all his fault. Well, we are super thankful and we're super grateful for you, for what you do for our community and for the youth. What can we as a community help you with?
Well, the thing, the Boys and Girls Club is nonprofit, and I tell you, it takes a lot of funds to operate yearly.
Okay.
We try to keep our limits to our budget, but to allow us to take kids on field trips every year and to provide meals and all the activities that we do here, the arts and crafts, the upkeep of the weight room, it all takes funding.
Sure.
So any funding that people would like to donate
are you
to the
allowed
Boys and Girls Club.
To also, just didn't mean to interrupt you there. I was looking at your kitchen there. Are you allowed to accept donations for foods and things?
Yes.
So if somebody doesn't have necessarily monetary value to give, maybe every now and again they could provide food, or maybe they could buy pizza. Some places to say, hey, pizza on us tonight or whatever. So there's lots of opportunities. So we can volunteer, we can help with food, we can provide groceries, pizzas. We can come in and be kind of hands and feet for what you need, right?
Yes, a lot of hands-on up here. You know, we can always use volunteers up here for different activities, whether it's playing a pool game with kids, supervising that area, helping with video games. Some of these kids know how to play the video games a lot more than I do. I don't play
Little kids know how to work phones.
Yes, but
better than I do.
Anything like that would help. The only thing we're requiring or suggesting if they're going to donate food is realize how many kids come here to eat.
And how many would you say that is?
On an average right now, we're running between 45 and 50 kids a night.
Okay. So they want to prepare for that. If they're
when you donate to the food area, we prefer at least the quart cans.
Because you're
because
feeding
the little cans don't go very far.
Well, your hands get tired. You're not lifting anymore, so you can't open them as big as you used to, probably.
But the food, we have freezers up here where we can store meat and stuff like that. So that has become a big help.
Yeah,
and we're
because
grateful.
I always think too, sometimes, people that have freezer meat, for example, and they're just not going to get through it, and they're like 3 months out, and they're like, hey, in 3 months, this isn't going to be good, and I'm not going to use it. What a great place, because you can use that up in a month's time quickly, right? So there's all types of ways, and I think just coming together and coming alongside you and your staff could be something that we as a community can do. So anything else you'd like to add?
The only thing I would suggest, or not suggest, but say, we did have a very good Christmas for the kids up here this year. We had 88 kids in here that night. It was packed.
Wow.
But the gifts and everything that people provided was excellent. We had a giving tree up front. That we make ornaments up there, and people come in and donate $10 or $10 gift card, and we give $10 gift cards to kids at Christmas time.
Nice.
Which has helped.
Absolutely.
But next year, I think what I'm going to do is use the giving tree as a shirt for the club next year. So we
can all have a shirt
all
that
have
way.
a shirt, the same thing.
Yes, and that would also help the community know that you're here.
Yes.
And let the kids talk about that and so forth. Now, when kids do come, it just kind of made me think about it. When kids do come, do they have to be signed in and signed out by an adult? Okay.
No, not by an adult. They can sign in, and then they write down their names and phone number and how old they are.
Okay.
The phone number is to the parent or the guardian.
Okay.
And that way, if we do have an emergency up here, we do have the contact, but we also keep information on file for every kid that comes in here.
So once they've gone through everything and they're on file, they can just come in, sign in, and say, "Hey, Mr. Tom, I'm here," and then they sign out when they.
They don't have to sign out.
Okay.
But we don't allow the kids to go home unless the parents call them home.
Okay.
Or because if they leave, then they can't come back in.
Okay, so once
what we're trying to do is prevent kids from by keeping them safe, but keeping them in the building.
Yes.
Not going outside, running the streets.
And not
things
knowing
like
where
that.
they are, because that sort of defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do here, right?
Yes.
We're trying to provide a safe environment for them.
So,
Okay, very good. So are you on Facebook as well? there
we
boys
are
and girls?
trying to work on that. We had one set up, but I'm trying to get it where it's not my personal Facebook.
Right.
And just the club Facebook.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, and hopefully this year have that online.
Okay, so we can watch for that to start, as Facebook
Yes.
will be coming. Other than that, you can always pop up here, it's right here on Broadway. And then, is
Like-
there a phone number they can reach out?
We do. Our club number here is 937-547-1122.
Okay, well, that's easy to remember. Very
Or
good.
you can reach me at my cell phone, which is 937-670-6823.
Okay, very good. So there's opportunities for them to reach out.
Yes.
So thank you so much for all that you do, and thanks for being with us today.
You're
And
welcome.
keep sticking with us as we are out and about, and we will have more Impact for Ripplers coming soon. Thank you.
I appreciate it.